So, you're ambitious. You have big dreams. You want to succeed and ultimately live the life you've always dreamed of. But there's a problem. You're lazy. You know exactly what you need to do, but you're not doing it. This leads to guilt because deep down, you know you're capable of so much more. That guilt builds up over days, weeks, months, until it turns into acceptance. A new year comes, and with it, the same goals as last year. You start off with enthusiasm, motivation, and a little bit of illusion. But before you know it, procrastination sneaks in, like that relative who always shows up uninvited. Your ongoing delay becomes a daily cycle of laziness, and before you realize it, you start calling yourself a lazy person. So, how do we break this vicious cycle and overcome procrastination? While there are tons of videos online about this topic, most only focus on the symptoms, like deleting social media or removing distractions. Yes, that might help short term, but it doesn't fix the real issue. And the real root of procrastination can be summed up in one word: inertia. In physics, inertia is the tendency of resting objects to stay at rest and moving objects to keep moving, unless acted upon by an external force. This is Newton's first law of motion, and it applies not just to physical objects, but also to our tasks. Starting any task, no matter how small, requires an initial push and a bit of energy to overcome that state of rest. And that's exactly where the problem lies. We make that first step feel so big and difficult in our minds that we avoid the task entirely and instead distract ourselves with cheap dopamine hits. To beat procrastination, we need to overcome inertia. And there are two simple ways to do that. 1. Make the first step as easy as possible. The hardest part is starting, so try to make it as easy as possible by lowering the stakes and taking the smallest step forward. For example, if you tell yourself that you need to sit down and finish your 5,000-word essay, the inertia is too strong because the stakes are so high. But instead, if you tell yourself that you're just going to write 50 words, the feeling of inertia will be much less than it is now. Starting the task becomes quite easy without needing willpower or discipline. 2. The 2-minute rule. If you don't feel like doing something, tell yourself, I'll just do it for 2 minutes, then I can stop if I want. Don't feel like cleaning your room? Play a song, tidy up just one thing, and stop when the song ends. The nicest thing is that usually you continue for 2 minutes or end up writing more than 50 words. And that's because moving objects stay in motion. That is, as soon as we start gaining momentum, at first this impulse helps us keep going longer. It's like pushing a ball uphill. Once we overcome the point of inertia, from that moment, the descent begins. And that's exactly why it's important that the initial push is small and easy. In other words, lower the stakes and start with just 2 minutes. You can apply these two methods in any area of your life to overcome procrastination. Whether it's going to the gym, working on the side, maintaining a relationship, or almost anything that comes to your mind. As Martin Luther King once said, you don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step.